It's hot in here.
Man, that was a sloppy kiss. You know, wet.
Slapper, did that changing out the other one in this room make the thing stop going freaky?
I don't know. I didn't look.
I'm gonna go run to the bank and deposit money.
Okay.
I say 1 o'clock we start working outside. Okay.
Okay.
Because that way it'll give you enough time before. Okay. But that'll still give us 3 hours of daylight to work. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Love you. It's live. We're live. $73. What's up, brother? Let's see. How do I get to? Let's see. I see all the cool data. Good morning, sir. Well, it's almost. Let's see. You're in Central, probably, right? How's my audio this time? Is it better? Where the heck is my? Yeah.
Is it okay if I start something lasering while I leave? I'm just making you aware the laser will be going, okay?
Can I see like the live? I'm talking to the stream, baby. It's not all about you. How do I see like Joshua Bardwell stuff, you know? I like those low and tingy. Well, I'm using this camera microphone instead of my big nice camera. Maybe if I put it closer. Try that. Get into my doors. How about that? Is that better? How about that? Is that better? I don't know. All right. Well, I have an audience. Much better. Awesome. So I have one person watching right now, and it is the only person I really care about on the entire internet. So that's good enough for me to get started. So if you recall, I had these sitting on my couch in the basement, and I got aggravated, and I threw my phone at it, and it hit this, and that ended up, well, look, a piece of plastic just came off of it. Right, there we go. See that little piece of plastic? It literally just broke off of here. And if you also look, you can see my pins are gnarly, and that is not good. And instead of like trying to straighten them out and then possibly damage more stuff, because I tried fixing this on my own with they sent me the repair stuff, and ended up like really messing up the main board. I ended up messing up the main board. Let me show you a picture of that if I can. Let's see, where's there it is. Let's go for support. Divi math. I forget their Divi math sometimes. I think of them as HDZero. They're actually Divi math. And then let's look for, where's the attachment? One of these should have an attachment. Oh, here it is. Look, he says, "Hey Curtis, could you have damaged the connector this badly?" Yes, I could. Let me show you what I'm like. Oh, you do see it, don't you? So, yeah, dude, that is like, ugh, that's bad. I don't know. This is probably when I was trying to pull it off and I didn't realize I'd taken off the SMA port on the top, but I didn't take off the one on the side. And so that was my bad. And then, or actually it's this one. And then when I tried to take it off, I'm like in there like digging and like prying, and I'd taken something off, but I didn't take it all off. Man, that was not a good thing. So I had to order a whole new $50 buy. I just popped off. Had to order a whole new $50 one of these. $50 for this little piece of plastic. This little PCB board. All it does is it has a Wi-Fi chip in it so that you can connect to Wi-Fi, which I've had major issues with that too, because I wanted to like not necessarily stream, but I wanted to move files on and off with Wi-Fi. I was trying to find a better way to do it. So one thing I've been working on is trying to build with vibe coding, using AI, since I'm not a programmer. I want to build an app that when I come in from flying, I literally can I want a Raspberry Pi. Actually this one, look at what I'm building here. So I'm building this desktop tower rack, and that is a Raspberry Pi. That's an Intel NUC, NUC, which is like a full-blown Windows computer. So I'll have this one, and I'll have this one, and I'll put some hard drives and stuff in here. And then, that's the inside. This one has a NVMe bottom adapter case on it that's connected with USB 3.0. And it's pretty fast, pretty dang fast. And then this is just an aluminum case, so it's got a fan in it, makes it all fancy. So it's just got one of these in it, but it's a Raspberry Pi 4 in here. Oh, sorry, what am I doing? What am I talking? This isn't the NUC. Or is it a NUC? That's another Pi. Is that another Pi? No, this is a NUC, because it has USB-C. No. What is this? This is a Pi. Pretty sure this is a Pi. I just use it for little projects. So, like, for example, I'll quit talking about not knowing anything about this because it's been so long. Pretty sure this is a Pi. I don't know where my NUC is. I need to find my NUC. Anyway, so there's I'll make a Raspberry Pi with a Linux image on it, and this app that I'm going to vibe code, that basically it'll have a USB reader on here so that I can put in either my drone directly if it'll mount it as a hard drive, and then I'll have a SD card reader also in here, so I can just plug in an SD card. And then the software is going to be set up so that when it sees a new drive mounted, it will look for the format of the MP4s. I think that's USB-C. Is that USB-C? Yeah. Oops. So see, this is just like a little USB-C to SD card. reader. There you see it pretty well. And then, you just plug that in. And then you have a way you can plug in a micro USB, or you can plug in just a USB cable to your VTX, like your 04 Lite. And then the software will just see that a new drive was mounted, and it will scan it. And then I want it to create like a little image or a video database on here. And then it'll run a web server. So then from my main computer, I'll be able to just say like, go to the web page of this little home server on my Pi, and I can see all of my videos just imported. And then I don't have to sit there and drag them across. And I might even, eventually start having a process where it just starts moving it to my editing computer here, so that I have the video image or the video files just sitting there waiting for me to edit. And that's going to just free up all of the time that I sit there. Like last night, so at sunset, I went out and I grabbed some video. So you'll be the first to hear of it, 73, because you're on my live stream. I sent up my Air 3S to video the I hate my brain right now. The sunset, and then I took up my FPV drone and I started doing like orbits around my Air 3S, and just different, coming up over the top of it, trying to do a Matty flip over it, but that got kind of scary. I quit doing that. It kind of scared me, because I did one where I tried, and then it like got really close to my neighbor's roof behind me, and I'm like, okay, let's not do that anymore. I don't need to lose a drone just trying to do something I've never seen before. So I color corrected that last night using ChatGPT, and I think it looks really pretty. My wife said it looks nice, so we'll try that. Hopefully I can get it edited before the stream tonight so we can watch it on Head's Infinity Loops. So anyway, let's get to what I was wanting to do. So, I asked the boss lady for some money, and she said, go for it. So this is my pyro drone order that came in. And then let's check it out. What did McShaky order from Pyro Drone? As our buddy down in New Mexico likes to say, what's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? So what is in the box? What is in the box I needed some more props. I don't like the Meteor 75 Pro props. And yeah. They come with benefits, don't they? And after, dude, next month will be 32 years married to the boss lady for me. I remember when I was dating her? Yeah, when I was dating her, I brought her over to my house, and my mom's like took me to the side, and she's like, hey, she's kind of bossy, isn't she? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was something I did not repeat for a long time. That's one reason I'm married 32 years, is because I've learned and that was when I was 18, so I was smart enough to know that at 18. So here's some 45x3 gym fan. I believe that's what Head said to buy. 3-blade. And then just because I know they're supposed to be underpowered, but I want to try them some bi-blade And then another pack of these. Okay, so here's a big deal. I'm rebuilding because I crashed this tank. I lost signal when I was flying out at the river in the canyon, and I accidentally flew it like too far around the corner, and I just completely lost everything immediately. Unlike DJI, where you get like long distance, HDZero, man, you get low latency, but there's no penetration or anything. Like when it's gone, it's gone. But when it returns, it returns. And it was gone. And luckily, I wasn't over the water. And I used another thing I love about the HDZero goggles is so I know you're new to HDZero. So here's something that's really came in handy for me because I've lost a lot of drones. So I've gone through this a lot. And being in comms and the military and stuff and ham radio, I understand quite a bit about RF direction finding and stuff like that. And so you can take off all of your antennas except one and make it be like a directional one like this one. And so I took off all my antennas, and then I would just start scanning, doing kind of like a scan to see if I could find where the signal was coming from. And the other thing I like is HDZero has 4 individual antenna signal readers in your display, so you can see which antenna is reading it. So if you start out far away, you can just keep all your antennas on, and then another thing I would do sometimes is like put my hands up, holding too many things, to like block the signal in one direction by a little bit, right? You're just blocking a little bit, but it's every little bit. And you can even form your hands into, like, while it's on your head, you can form your hands into more direction finding and look. And then once you unscrew everything except one, then it becomes very directional, and you can just kind of point your beam at these different areas until you find it. And I've done that a few times. And so I'm walking along this dirt road. I have a video of it somewhere where I actually videoed part of me looking for it, and it's just sitting over there on the side of the dirt road. And so I saved it. So before I could put this back together, though, and it broke the antenna when I did that. But the problem is, with all the stuff I've been doing, I can't find 2 things. I can't find the little brass or whatever cover that screws in there. I have it. I've seen it. I don't know where it is. So instead of just giving up, I looked for a place that sells them. I can't find anywhere that sells them. Someone who has a metal CNC, they can cut metal CNC. They need to come up with like just selling some of that as parts to someone. But I found the next best thing, because it'll just, an antenna will just pop right off of that if you're flying around. I don't know where my antenna went. But anyway, I bought this. This came in from Power Drone as well, and I didn't even know these existed. So that right there is a locking. That is a locking UFL. So see how it has like the little locking mechanism on it? So you can buy these from Pyrodrone, and then you basically can put it on your UFL and then slide that lock, and you don't have to have that top holder bar that keeps the UFL from popping off. And I just bought a short one because something else I was doing before I had to go to work in Boulder this week was I was trying to design a, what do you call it? was trying to design, let's see. Dude, iGal is like so chatty. I need to turn it off. I'm not doing Race Gal this year. I thought I would, but I'm not. And of course, I'm getting distracted. But I thought I was going to put in, I need to put in like my link to this stream. So did you see the chat in there, or did you see that I went live on your YouTube app? Live. Hey, it says there's 2 watching. Me and you, or is there somebody else out there? Could be a lurker. Cool. All right, let me post this link. Copy. All right, that way if anybody wants to see it. So where is that? So I'm kind of like, I really want to use Onshape. Like, I really, 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 really want to use Onshape. But it's just it's too much for me right now. Well, we'll use this one. I don't know what's going on. Let's go to Tinkercad. So I use Tinkercad because it's like, brings me back to kindergarten, you know? It's like, it's like using like very simple shapes. First account, sign in with Google. Let's just bring this back over here. Okay. And so you'll see some of my previous shapes I've made. Why is there nothing there? Man, this better have saved my one I was working on. Wasn't that one? Oh, there it is. HDZero. I think it is. Okay. So yeah, here's like, so I took the tank antenna mount for the not HDZero, DJI antenna, and I cut the top of it off, and I cut the middle out, and then my plan is to measure this and figure out how I want to make this work. Like, because on the end of this, I have a SMA antenna that I can just screw into the end of this. Let me go get it real quick. All right. So I'll be screwing this in here. And then so that that lollipop that's behind my head right now, move that. So that will go, you know, basically like right there in that. And it'll be, you know, tilted out like that. And then it'll come down to this the screw-on mount, and then I'll put and that'll keep it nice and firm. And then this will just basically bend down into that that part down there at the bottom, and then lock into my HDZero Freestyle V2. And then I should have something commensurate to the name tank, which this has already been a tank, right? Because it started out with just the Velox 2206 motors. That's a 6S. Is that? Let's see if we can read that number on here. Is that a number? KV 1750. Thank you. Yeah, 1750. So I broke one of these. So there's 3 of them that are the Velox, but then the last one is a 2306.5 smooth SMOOV VS. I don't know. Anyway, it's a little notchy compared to the Velox. So see how it kind of rant. Whereas this one, the step notches are very tiny. Like almost like that tiny little movement there is where I feel a notch in the magnet, but on these smooth, that's the whole notch. So I don't know if that matters, but anyway, goes to show though that it does, you don't have to have the same motor on everyone. It helps to get it as close as possible, which is why I picked that one. But that is something that I got in the mail, and we'll hopefully be fixing soon. But the first thing is I want to get, there it is. I didn't get the last thing out of my, nope, I still have more stuff. Oh, cool. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? So I got a ND filter for DJI O4 Pro camera. So I wanted to have something. It's an ND16. I kind of got something that's kind of in the middle, I would consider. Sometimes it's really, really bright here in Colorado. We don't have much rain or clouds. I think we have 300 days of sunshine a year, they say. So not a lot of cloudy days. Usually just like afternoon storms sometime. All right, let's find a way to cut this open. Where's my knife? That's why you always like, if someone says, what can I get you for your birthday or for Christmas or your anniversary? If you can't think of anything, just say either a knife or a flashlight, because you can never have too many of either. Am I right? I'm right? 73? Ooh, nice. What are you getting from Get FPV? Is it a big package or a little package? That's what she said. For me, it's a little package until I see her goods, and then it becomes a big package. So yeah, so then here's the last thing. This is the little HDZero module that I broke and that we're going to be replacing today. And you know what is I'm really happy is it comes with this, because I lost that screw, and that's one of the reasons I think it broke as well, is because I could never keep my analog module tied up against the this mount. So goes in really easy. If anybody hasn't done this before, there's these pins here. Just don't ever try to force anything. It should just go in nice and easy. Again, that's what she said. And so now it just goes in nice and easy. And then there's these little clips on the side that the plastic slips down into and kind of pops in place. And that's actually what broke earlier when you saw my finger hold it. Is this little piece between here and here broke off. So now I'm just gonna snap one side, snap the other, and that sounds really great. All right, so I have one antenna on here right now. I'll end up putting a directional antenna on here, but and I have a SMA angle connector. So if the little patch antenna I'm using isn't the direction I want, I can always actually I think I'll put it on the top. I can make a little angle so it kind of curves up and then out in front of me. And then now, crap, you know what I forgot to do? And see, this is where this isn't made to be popped on and off all the time. So I need to be very careful or I'll break something again. So I'm going to get, I think the technical term is a splooger. Like a piece of plastic that can go up under there. But I do have a really thin tool that I can use. We'll try this. Yeah, that worked perfectly. So I'll show you guys. So see, this is just a very thin tool for lock picking, and you just stick it in the crack there, and then it just pops it right up real nice and easy. Better than using like a screwdriver or something. Now, why did I do that? Because see that hole right there? That is what this screw is for. So one reason I decided to start live streaming is just because I got friends on the internet like Mr. 73 there, who's just an amazing individual. If anyone watches this in the future, always positive, always extremely respectful, like a true Southern gentleman type respectful, even though he was in the Navy, which is like the antithesis of respectful, at least in certain situations, right? I mean, the Navy guys know when to be respectful. Sometimes there's definitely times where they are not. They have a reputation for a reason, just like the Marines who just had their birthday. And I would like to see the statistics on how many of those dudes ended up in jail, prison, as a new mama daddy. All right, so here's another tool I really, really like. Got this off Amazon. It's called the Phalanx. It's got this really nice, I think it's aluminum. Top pops off. And then in the middle here is this neat little screwdriver. Or actually it's just a driver. And then inside here is a nifty set of tools. And not only is it a set of tools, but it's on a carousel. So you can literally carry almost everything you'd ever need with you. It's really, 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 really helpful. So let's get a Phillips, put it in here, and then it charges with USB-C. All right. So I should be able to screw this in now. And then I believe these tips are magnetized as well. Yeah. Could see. Magnetized. So that helps. That's not really the right angle. Let's try a different. Oh yeah, fits much better. Fits like a glove. So let's bring the goggles over here. I'm back this up just for now. Oh crap. Just got my screw. All right. So once again, like I really messed up this part on the goggles here. Right at the bottom there is where there's some pins or no, it's the receptacle for these guys. The ones that I showed you at the beginning that I messed up really bad. But when it fits, it just pops right in there, snaps. And so it's in pretty well, pretty good. But not well enough to not need this screw to really lock it in. And it doesn't need to be super tight. The whole point is for it to just hold it there. So now we've got that on. So now we can put our analog receiver in. And that seems to fit pretty well. Snap. Okay. All good. Now I can really nerd out and look like crazy nerd boy with all this on here. And I'm going to consider that project done for now. And now we're going to put together my 7.5 inch because it's almost ready to go. Just needs a little bit of work. Let's go over to the desk area. This out of the way. Don't worry about that. Oh boy. Sorry. I am having some issues. As usual. Okay. These things out of the way. Let's move this camera out of the way. I'm gonna need some top down. So this over here. See, these are the props that I don't really like that these gym fans are going to replace. So let me just take one of these out. So you can see, same size, but I don't know, man. I just like the gym fans better. So I'll be putting those on, but right now I can't fly because I have a problem with my radio setup. It booted up the other day and lost its config and went when my I've had two different radios do that. I don't know if anyone else has. But I've had my Pocket and my GX12 where they boot up and they don't work right. They go into mode 1, which is the first problem, and then the second problem is they don't seem to be, they lose their configuration, and when I tried to put my settings back on, I can't control my drone anymore. I've been 3D printing whistles. That one is ultrasonic for dogs. You can't hear it. Apparently dogs can. There's one. It's the same one. Came with two. There's one that's supposedly at 7 kilohertz. There's one at 22 ultrasonic, so I probably can't hear this one either. Nope, can't hear it. Anyway, I have one that was called the Banshee. I don't know where it is. Probably on my printer somewhere over there. Anyway, let me get my tools and turn the light on. Where's the light? Here it is. So this is my Falcon Rad. The thing is crazy bent. What is going on? Anyway, so this is my Falcon Rad Lion, and built it a long time ago. It's got ELRS 915 megahertz. But it's got mounting points for 3 cameras. So you can put one here, you put one here, and then you can put one on the back as well. So it is serious. I take lots of video while flying up in the mountains is what I use. The last one I had, this is the V2. I lost the V1 that I built. I loved it. It's my favorite one. And I've got some T-Motor 1300 kV F90. And they are very smooth. But this will run 7.5-inch props, and it's I've got a 2.5 watt analog VTX on here, and I'm actually not sure what I have left to do. It's been so long. I think this is a GPS saver, because I've got my GPS plugged into it. And if you don't know what a GPS saver is, it's for long distance. You don't want to burn your battery catching your GPS signal, and not all flight controllers have a 4/5 USB powered rail for your GPS to go on. And I don't remember if this one does or not. No, I don't know. This is I think this is my TBS. Yeah, this is my TBS stack that's in there. And so there's a little battery on here so that it can power up your GPS while you're waiting. Now, if you're running TBS Crossfire, they actually make a fully, like, their system is really well designed and integrated. So if you have a GPS saver plugged into a TBS Crossfire receiver, it will keep your receiver and your GPS powered on so that if you ever crash, you can use the built-in TBS transmitter location finding. On the highest end one has a location finding and direction finding, and you can track down your quad with your telemetry from your GPS going into your receiver. So you know how you do like discover telemetry in your model setup. You can go in there for sensors on the sensor screen, and it'll say discover telemetry, and you hit the button while this is connected. And this is for ELRS or TBS that this works. You can hit the discover telemetry and it will receive all of the telemetry data, including your GPS. So you want to do that after you add GPS to a quad, so you can get all of your GPS data on your receiver. That way, if for some reason you lose your VTX, your VTX the connection goes down from your VTX antenna to your goggles, you don't have a OSD anymore with your GPS coordinates, so you're gonna have to replay it and go back to the last ones you had. But generally, you're gonna have longer range and more connectivity with your control link than you do with your video link. And so, if your GPS is sending to your telemetry and it's being stored on your radio, you can go in and find that and get the latest GPS. And if it's still powered up with a GPS saver and your transmitter, your telemetry transmitter, because your receiver on your quad is also a transmitter. That's why you can buy different ones that have different powered telemetry. There's some that'll put out 10 milliwatts and some that'll put out 100 milliwatts. And you can even set them up to put out full power. And you can even reflash a receiver to be a telemetry transmitter and wire it up on a separate UART and have a full power telemetry transmitter if you want. Anyway, that is the story of how TBS is still doing stuff that ELRS doesn't do. So I wish they had that feature. I sold all my TBS Crossfire stuff, but I almost regret it. But I think ELRS will eventually come up to speed with where TBS is. So I think I no, I have my receiver is up here in the front. So maybe I just need to program this one. Where's my, and like smoke check it and all of those things. So let me do that. Let me plug it into USB. Find a USB cable around here somewhere. Probably don't want to use the one that you guys are watching me on. Yep, here's another one. Let's plug it in. And then I don't see any lights on my GPS. I do see lights on my stack, the flight controller. In my receiver, no light. So I'll probably have to plug into a battery to get that set up. Back over here and turn on beta flight. What did I do? this right here. All right, let's open up Betaflight. I am not yet a fan of the web-based Betaflight. Sorry. Let's move this over here. Come on, McShaky. Stop being shaky. All right. Let's go to connect. And all right, that's level. That's pretty level. Is that the front? Yep, the front, back, left, right. So our gyro is set up properly. Let's go to ports, and I like to take a screenshot of this for later reference. Let's see. Put this over here. So you guys can see it. Put it right there. So it looks like our VTX is on UART3. And we just have the receiver on UART5. GPS is on UART7. And UART1 is another receiver. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. All right, so that's not correct. So we'll have to figure out where the receiver is. Rad 7.5 is the name. I think it does have a magnetometer, but we don't need that. Let's go to, yep, arming is 180. You always want that. I'm going to keep RX loss and RX set off for now because that just means it'll beep beeping when I plug it in. Don't need soft serial. Don't have a LED strip, so I'm just going to turn that off. I keep air mode on for my long range. Let's see. Let's turn off USB because I don't want to hear it when it's plugged into USB. I'm not doing camera control. Armed fine, disarm, repeat. Stick is held in disarm position. I don't think we need that. I do like GPS beeping. Beeps when aux channel set for beep, yep. Battery low, battery critical, that's not bad. Arming is good. Disarming is good. That's good. I don't want that on right now. We'll turn it on later. Okay, we'll save and reboot. We're on beta flight 451, by the way. Presets. Not going to do that till later. HDZs are stock. I'll probably ask Falcon Rad for if he has a tune. Let me just do that real quick. Do it over here because I actually have his real name, and I don't know. Some people don't like having their full name put out there. Hey, Falcon Rad, I am working on my Rad V2 and noticed I just have default beta flight HDZ. Do you have a tune for yours that I could load into my seven and 7.5-inch props, analog, T motor, what did I say? F90 1300. Thanks. Shaky. All right. So I sent him an email. I don't really have my rates yet for this. I know what I want to do. What I never do is I just change them if I don't feel I'm getting the right response. Because I'm more of a cinematic. I'm not a crazy freestyle pilot. If you watch my videos, you know that. So not as crazy about my rates being my perfect rates. All right. AETR is correct. I don't know what analog RSSI input is, but we're doing analog, so let's turn it on. Do not claim to know everything. We could ask ChatGPT. Let's see. I'm not going to turn on the receiver yet because I need to go find my battery saver before I plug it in. Yeah, I have nothing configured here. Obviously, GPS is not being seen, so it does need to be powered on. See it? I turn all these on, so by default, all of these aren't turned on. All these Galileo and set home point once, you want that set. North America ground assistant types. Normally that's set to none. Motors. I like props out just because if I were to run into something, I want it to push me away from it, not pull me into it. We'll check them out after I get my whatchamacallit. We're not doing HD, we're doing NTSC. Although PAL's actually better because you get a little bit, you get more bottom screen when you do PAL. Let's try PAL. Where's that? Low voltage warning. All right, yeah, I like this. Kind of right here. And then I want my let's just go through how I like stuff. I don't have a default, like I do somewhere. I have it set up somewhere where I can just paste it in, but I don't remember where I put it. I like battery average cell voltage. And we put that over here. And then I don't need crosshairs. I do like the craft name just so I know in the videos what I'm looking at. Put that there. Flight distance isn't bad. Sometimes I like to know that. And let's go to Imperial. British is metric now? Then why do you have metric? I don't understand. And then we've got, I don't care about fly mode or G-forces. GPS latitude and longitude. Definitely have used that many times in the past. So latitude we'll put right there. Let's move it in a little bit. I only really ever look at that when I'm going searching for my drone though. I don't use it otherwise. Okay, let's move low voltage down. Top of that, GPS satellites, definitely good to know. That somewhere around there. Let's do that. And then your speed is always fun. Over there. Home direction is very important when flying long distance. I put that right in the middle. And then kind of already have home distance because we have distance. Do I want distance or home distance? Let's do home distance. I think this might be the whole, yeah, the whole amount of flying distance. I don't want that. I want home distance. Okay, link quality. Because if it gets down to like 70, it's time to come home. All right, dude, I see you got a jet. See you tonight, brother. Thanks for joining. Let me know what you got in the mail. RC channels, RSSI. Sometimes that can be helpful, but link quality is really good enough for me. Throttle is good, so you can know how much throttle you were using when you're reviewing your video. Timer is good. Here. So one thing to think about when you're setting up your OSD for long distance is you have a blind spot. The part in the back of your eyeball where your optic nerve connects in, there's no photoreceptors on that connection. So there's literally a black hole in your eyesight. And if you search online for how to find it, it'll show you, I'm trying to find it right now, but it's kind of on the right side for me over here for this, my right eye. But I can't find it right now. It's somewhere in the middle. And it just disappears. And the way to see it, your brain kind of makes it up. And that could be what's going on too, is your brain will literally fill in the blank. Blind but yeah, let's see. Okay. Cover your left eye and look at the plus sign. Move closer or further away to find where the circle disappears. Yeah, it disappears right there for me. Like, it is gone. So, something fun to try if you didn't know about that. But that comes in to play with your OSD, right? Because you have a blind spot. Kind of, if you're looking at where you're flying, there's always going to be this area to the right that's blind and you can't see it. So you don't want to put any of your OSD elements that are important. You don't want to put any of them in your blind spot. So just something to be aware of. You have one, for your right side and your left side, and it's generally going to be, in the middle to the right if you're looking in the middle. So something very, very important to keep track of. Let's keep the TX uplink power on here because sometimes you forget to set that and all of a sudden you look and you're like, wait, I'm not running a watt. I'm only running 200 watts. And if you're doing long range, you need a full watt. Okay, that looks good. Now let's go save it and then look on the right. And this is kind of like your after action report stuff over here. You've got your warnings. Yes.
That was somebody who messaged me right before she came to pick him up. Somebody
But it wasn't that same person. Right?
No. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Because she gets home with them. He's like, anyway. I have the loop one done.
Can you bring me that drink, please?
Can I show you real quick?
Yeah. Nice.
And I'm asking if he wants the edges stained or just as is, I just made me some. You need me to fill yours up if it's not? Or just drink as is?
I'll just drink it as is if there's stuff in it.
Okay.
All right. Let's look at, I do a lot of these post-flight statistics. Yeah, flight distance. See how this is just stuff on the end credit screen that you get when you disarm. So you can just put whatever you want. Flight time total. I mean, G-force maximum is kind of cool.
Do you need more than that? I can pour some of this in there. It's the right thing. Only the ratio won't be weird,
Maximum.
There you go. But that was funny. That made me giggle.
At least that wasn't that lady that came over.
It was that lady's husband.
Oh, I asked you that and you said no.
Oh, I thought you asked somebody else asked about him. I thought it was another guy. No, it was that. It was it was that.
So he wanted to buy him.
But she messaged before him.
She saw it and came and got him.
Uh-huh.
Oh well.
Still funny. Like, oh wait, she bought them for herself instead of me getting as a present. So, hey, either way, it's cash in my pocket. Okay, I got the last one going. It took 40 minutes for Cody, so it'll probably take an hour for that one because it's bigger. I'm gonna go to the bank now. Okay.
I have the Axis Flying 2.5 watt analog VTX and need the VTX cables to load into beta flight. So much, hopefully, so much easier. You can't load it, you can't locate it. You suck. Let's go to Axis Flying then and see if we can find it. Axis Flying.com. Now let's try Google. Axis Flying VTX analog cables. See if we can find. So none of these are the one that I have. Yeah, that's not it. Check out how cheap that is. 3 watt for $58. That's a good deal. And it's got a fan in it, which means it's going to keep it cool. It's going to live long and prosper. VTX and antenna. Let's see if we go in here. There's a 10 watt for $100. That's actually not a bad deal either. Let's see. I don't have the Smurf, but it's probably close enough. I don't know. That's probably close enough. I wish they had it though. I don't think they even sell mine anymore. Let's see, it's a Manta. It came out of a Manta 10X Lite. Yeah, see, I don't even have that. FPV drones. They never kept it really easy to find though. Let's go to page 2. See, they don't even sell it anymore. I don't understand. Whoa, video encryption and decryption module? That's actually illegal in the US, but it's interesting that they sell it. What is a Naja camera? Naja, is that like their brand name? Oh, it is a night capable. I like the ones that have really low light and wide dynamic range because I like to fly in the evenings. Dynamic range, product structure. See 0.00001 lux. If you look at like a Cadix Ratel Pro or something, it's like 0.01 lux or something like that. It's basically a daylight only camera. But the thing is, these will run just as good during the day as they will at night. Or evening, I wouldn't say night. TX board plus RX board, 2 transmitters, 2 receivers. Gee, I wonder why they want to have something with 2 of them. 2 different bands. Can't imagine why you would want diversity. Maybe for some kind of jamming, but where would they be jamming? I don't know. And then, of course, they have the Owl Pro blacklight camera. Let's see how far down it goes. What the heck is blacklight? Does that mean infrared? Now here's what annoys me. Whoever did the previous page, they put their Naja camera on the left and they put the one they're comparing against on the right. But here it's reversed. And here's their own camera versus their Pro camera. That's interesting. That Pro does look pretty good. I guess it is that's got some incredible pixels though, man. Minimum illumination, 0.00001 lux. It does have external controls where you can change it to auto, color, or black and white. That's neat. Infrared is not supported. Night vision is supported, but infrared is not supported. What does that mean? Does that just mean it's a low light camera? What's the difference in that than the other one that I was looking at? Oh well, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Cameras. No one has done a review of these. What is that? A 2.4 gig. Look at it. It's got a color monitor. Powered by, oh, jumper. That is a jumper. Never mind. An Axis jumper. Yeah, let's log in. Maybe I can see my purchase history. No, don't let me. Naja camera, new release. Let me try to log in. It doesn't like me. Okay, well, let's just, actually, I'm going to send them an email. Who am I? Yeah, okay. To support at Axis Flying. No, let's try sales. Yep, sales 5 at axisflying.com. VTX analog VTX tables. Why are you doing this here? You need to move this out here. This is something I was looking at before. Why are you still there? Okay. I purchased a 10-inch Manta X Lite analog. It was a few years ago, and I've recently tried to reuse the 2.5 watt analog VTX module from it, and I cannot find the VTX channel map tables on the internet. Could you please send me the file to load into Betaflight for the list of channels and frequencies it supports? I can take a picture and send it to you if you need me to. Thank you. All right. Well, I think, thank you. I think I'm going to wrap up since I've kind of hit a couple of walls here. And I've got some editing to do because I have a video that I'm going to be playing tonight on the Infinity Loop stream. So if you're watching this now or later, you should join us over there. It's much better produced than me. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll go to Infinity Loops. Why can't I just tab that? There we go. Infinity Loops. And see if he has it set up. Nope, doesn't have it set up yet, but this is where you go. Is youtube.com/@Infinity Loops. And I believe it's at 7:30 or 8:30 Mountain Time. I think 7:30 Mountain Time. So that's it for today. Really appreciate 73 hanging out with me. If anyone else was lurking out there, thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, look. Yoder showed up. And Silly Butter? Where's Silly Butter? Why can I not go up? 73. Not all the people. Why am I missing all these? Notice. Dude, like, all these people showed up right at the end of my stream. Well, thanks for showing up, guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you on the 90 Crew Infinity Loops tonight. And you'll get to see me fly a drone around a drone that is videoing the sunset last night. I tried to get a third drone involved, but my Radio Master Pocket crapped itself on boot up one day and turned into a Mode 1 transmitter. And I've tried reprogramming it, and now I can't connect to my... I mean, I can connect to my drones, but I can't arm them or anything. Even though in Betaflight it shows them being armed. So I got to figure that out, because that's driving me nuts. And the other drones use the different... One was the Air 3S and one was the Avata 2. So I didn't have to use my Radio Master for that. But yeah, drone inception. Dude, if I knew how, I would totally love to do one of those, like, where they back out the camera from the scene, and then you're seeing the drone behind, like all of a sudden the drone's there at the same picture frame. But I'm not that smart. maybe I'll ask ChatGPT how to do it, but it seems kind of stupid here lately. They need a 6.0 or a 5.5 or something like that. But yeah, if you want to go back, you can see some of the cool stuff I talked about at the beginning, like this. So if you ever have, I've lost the little brass thing that goes over the top of here to hold the UFL down on the Freestyle V2 VTX. And I've got it somewhere. Like I saw it a few weeks ago. But on Pyrodrone, because I opened a box from Pyrodrone, I was able to find that they have this, which is a locking UFL connector. So kind of doesn't matter if it's being held down or not, because this holds it on. And then I'm going to 3D print and design a way to mount this. So basically it goes on the back here, goes up, and then I can screw it down with this bulkhead. And then that way it's like Hank level protection. And so I was showing people, I'll just do a quick recap since you guys are here now. Where's the beef? There it is. So I took basically this STL, loaded it into Tinkercad, because I'm not smart enough to do Onshape yet. I keep trying, but I'm just too dumb. And so I cut the protector for the lollipop here at the top, and then I just need to measure, how much of this, and then where to put the mount to screw it in, so I can just make it super duper stiff, super strong. And so that's kind of where I'm at with this. So I've got like the negative here, which will be the inside of the tube where my where this will go, and then I'll have something a lot more thick that this bulkhead screw connector will go into, and I'll have something to put that on. And we'll see if I can figure it out. Hopefully I can be smart enough to figure that out. But yeah, this is how you make holes in Tinkercad, is you just kind of use your kindergarten brain, which is about all I've got right now, to make cylinders and squares and use negative pieces and positive parts to make what you need. And then you can tilt it. So when I get that measurement right, then I'll tilt it and I'll line it up here, and then I'll make it so that it kind of fits that and protects it all in true tank fashion, since this is my tank. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I'm working on this. So this is my new long range that I'm building. It's analog. It is the Falcon Rad LionV2. I believe it's Rad Lion. And it can hold 3 cameras. So you can put a GoPro mount right here in the front. You can put one here on the top plate, and then you can put one in the back, rear facing on the back plate, looking backwards at your antenna, I guess. So, and then I've got the analog 2.5 watt module. I'm not as cool as Toby with his awesome 5 watt or whatever. And yeah, so Tobias Yoder, is it a SD card problem? Well, the thing is, on the GX12, there is no SD card. It's built-in memory on the board. So that one did it, and it wasn't an SD card problem for sure. And I've got a good SD card in my pocket. So seeing how it's happened to two of them, and one of them doesn't even have a SD card slot, the GX12, I'm thinking it's just something in the code is freaking out. One thing I like about his design of this Falcon Rad frame is he cut slots in the carbon at the bottom where the VTX goes, so it gets airflow. Isn't that a cool idea? Like almost nobody else does that. And you see how there's like these posts right here? There's a piece of TPU that actually has a slot so that you can direct the airflow through there if you want as well. I'll probably just leave it open like that. But yeah, the dude designed some really good frames. And then I've got 900 megahertz ELRS, and in good RF fashion, I have them not in the same plane. So this one is going, let's say, east-west, and this one is going north-south. So that's one thing that Tobias Yoder noticed on his new 10-inch that he got from me, because I put the range is so much better than his 5-inch, because I have a dual receiver, and it's not dual band, it's just dual 2.4, but one is basically at a 45-degree angle to the other. So no matter what orientation he's in, he's going to get good, solid signal from it. And because if you didn't know, the ends of your antenna is the null spot. So the point you're looking at me, if you were the radio transmitter, if this was the only antenna I have, I might lose signal. At best, you're probably going to get the loss of telemetry lady yelling at you, and possibly fail safe, depending on how far away you are. And usually you don't stay in that position very long, especially if you're freestyle, because you're constantly moving, turning, flipping, rolling, whatever. And so it doesn't stay there, and so it really doesn't matter. But if you don't have two antennas, just know that the point of your antenna is a blind spot. It's a dead spot. We also went over blind spots in your eyeballs. I don't know if you guys were here for that, where I talked about setting up your OSD for long range. You really need to think about that, because if you do the blind spot test and just Google that, you'll see that everyone has a blind spot where their back of their eyeball connects to their optic nerve, and it can be something where you miss some important data on your OSD, because it's literally in your blind spot. That's where that term comes from, is you have a blind spot. So, all right, guys. Hopefully I'll see you tonight, and you can check out my video if I get finished here in a little bit editing my video. That's going to be on tonight on Infinity Loops, probably near the end of the stream, so it'll probably be around midnight. I stayed up till like 2 o'clock this morning, I think, or 1:30, something like that. Anyway, nice seeing everybody. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later.